2 weeks ago, I posted a video talking about a new logo that I had made for my favorite Thai restaurant in the world, Thai Time. I was very excited about it. I thought I had a really good concept, thought everything kind of had, fit together perfectly. And then I started getting some feedback from Jay. In today's video, I wanted to kind of break down how that conversation went, and then also some changes I made, applications for me, for you if you're a graphic designer, and hopefully through this process, you leave with a few tangible tips and tricks that might be able to help you as you step into whatever role you have, if you're into brand strategy, if you're into marketing. And most of all, I think there is something very misunderstood about criticism and feedback. And I think there are things that I've learned through this specific process that are universal in all of the different types of creative work you might stumble into one day. So let's get into it. So 2 Thursdays ago, I posted the video. I got, pretty good feedback from some people who have been following along. If you're not subscribed and you are interested in this, if you think, brand strategy is cool, Thai food's cool, small businesses are cool, just consider subscribing. Just for one moment, think about it. There's nothing, no negatives that come along with subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It really has no bad effects to you or your life at all. But it helps me out a ton. If you like this video, incredible. Very thankful. Every single person who likes this video, you rock. It just helps me get my story out, get Thai Time story out, and hopefully, things from my videos might be able to help people, which is kind of the whole goal of this channel. So a couple weeks ago, I posted the video on a Thursday, and me and Jay have been talking for a couple weeks. I think I had a pretty good concept, and the goal was make a video about it and then be able to sit down with Jay and kind of walk through it. Because I think part of this channel, I want to show kind of the transparent life of a designer, which, sometimes incredible breaks in a good way. You land that new client, you get the success story, you design the logo, bing, bop, boom, donezo. But most of the time, there are periods where things don't go as planned. Now, I make the logo, I send it over to Jay. He texts me back a day later, and he says this one looks churchy, like a stained glass window, or gives off an agricultural brand vibe. And then here's the kicker. He said, I'm afraid most people will think the red part will look like a brain. And the worst part about all of that is after I took a step back, I think he was right, which is an important part of the whole design process. I think it's very easy to bring in things that make sense to you. And the reality with a lot of design work is that usually if there's any way that you can take a logo the wrong way, more often than not, people will default to that perspective. So Jay being able to have the courage, the transparency to say that meant a lot to me. Because I think it helps me grow. It helps his brand be able to kind of nip some problems in the bud. So through that process, I went back to the drawing board, started to kind of rethink all the elements that I talked about a couple weeks ago. And I was left with some new ideas, specifically about how can we kind of take the stained glassy window thing out while still retaining some of the nice parts about it. So the sun, the ice cream cone, the bowl with the noodles in it are all things that I think, they're not bad. It's just the execution was off, which just means that there's an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and then kind of refine it, bring it back into a more cohesive, more clear logo that doesn't look like a stained glass window with some brain soup inside it.
She's still alive because zombies eat brains and she ain't got any.
So after some more doodles, some light work in Illustrator, I ended up with a new concept. I'll show it to you right now. I sent it over to Jay, and he liked it, which was awesome. Because to me, it just kind of validated, the concept works, the execution was off, and there was just potential there. So if you're a designer working with a client, you think you have an incredible logo made, and then you send it off to them, and then when they respond back to you, they're not as excited about the logo as you are. That's normal. And I think there's something very good about the exchange of ideas, the open communication, having your client trust you with their opinions. I think all of these things are important as a graphic designer, and being able to field those critiques, those feedbacks, and be able to move forward in a productive way, I think is a very important skill that everybody needs to be able to master, not even just in graphic design, if you're working with any type of client. After the new logo got approved, once Jay gave me the thumbs up on it, I decided to go back and kind of revise some of the details, just kind of make it more symmetrical, a little bit more user-friendly in different applications. And now I think we're finally at a place where not only do we have the logo stamped, ready to go, but now the best part for a graphic designer is you have the opportunity to now start to apply logos in different ways. Just imagine with me. And I think this is something that a lot of small businesses just don't have either the vision for, or they just don't assume that they can afford it, or it just seems too hard. But if you can have a cohesive brand identity across all applications of your business, it's a game changer, I promise you. So now that we have a logo, we can start to consider, what does the menu look like? How do we make the menu fit the feel and the vibe of the logo? How do we get both of those things to fit in with the website? How do we get each print item in their store, which is several? We'll get into that probably next week. How do we get everything to start to look the same and start to feel the same? So when a customer walks in and they start looking around at all the details of the restaurant, all the small things that have been intentionally placed, if you can get all of those things to look and feel the same, chef's kiss. You'll be able to have a business that not only just feels right from a customer's perspective, but now you go from just being, flying by the seat of your pants, printing off things, throwing stuff around, taping stuff to the wall. Now you're in the driver's seat, okay? Now every single part of your business can be intentionally crafted with a purpose. And if you can start doing that, it takes the pressure off of you of trying to figure out, what are we going to do? We have something we need to make. We don't know what to do with it. Now you have something. You have a brand system that works. Two, it also helps you to be able to craft a brand that, without even having to talk to your customers, they start to understand what the owner wants you to think. You, as the business owner, get to write your own story. And that's incredible. The logo is kind of like the key to this project. If the project is a car, the logo is the key. And now that we have the key to the car, we can really start to get moving, start building momentum, and start to really shape and craft the brand identity of Thai Time. And that is super exciting to me as a graphic designer. The final thing I wanted to talk about was just the humility, I think, of a graphic designer. You are the one bringing in the expertise on design and layouts and typography, font selection, color matching, color palettes, all of the minutia of the project. But you're working with just an ordinary client who cares more about the business than you do, guaranteed. And being able to say, even though I may know color theory better than you, I want you to leave this project feeling like your vision for what your business can be is understood, has been heard, and then most importantly, has been applied strategically. So I want to give a shout out to Jay for caring about his business, caring about what people think about his business, his brand, his vision for the future. I want to give a shout out to all the people who sent me feedback, who left comments, who liked and subscribed and shared this video. I think this has been helpful for him. But most importantly, I think it has been a good learning experience of, I don't think there's anything wrong with making a bold step and being willing to share an idea that you think might work and then being open to hearing that it doesn't. Because had we moved forward with the previous logo, literally everything could have had the brain soup bowl in a stained glass window all over their business. What I'm saying is everything is good with being able to have constructive feedback. And I think there's just, I'm encouraged about the future outlook we have now as we move forward. So next week, we're going to get into the print layout. One of the things that I love most, I think, is like tangible design work. So we're going to get into all of those details. But again, humbly, I'm asking you to give me a subscribe because it helps my channel grow and it helps me be able to help small businesses more effectively. So hit that like button, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about the logo. Do you like the first logo more? Do you think it does look like a bowl of brain soup in a stained glass window? And hopefully I improve. Hopefully Tie Time improves. Hopefully, as I continue this channel, as I continue this story, this journey, everybody gets better through it. And I get better at being a YouTube content creator. I get better at being a brand strategist. Tie Time leaves with a finished product that is going to serve them for years to come in the future. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.